Hello, hello guys, what is going on? Phoenix61 here with another World of Warships Legends video. How is it going? How's it hanging? Right, we are in the Hayate. This is the Tier H Premium Japanese destroyer that I've somewhat recently started to enjoy playing with and like, right? So, I personally, I feel like it's a little bit of a hybrid ship. You know, it's not a gunboat, it's not solely torpedo boat, you know, it's a little bit of an in-between. So I do have my torpedo build centric commander on here, right? But yeah, I feel like you know, as opposed to like Shimakaze or, you know, some of the other Japanese destroyers where I'm just like the guns are kind of bad and I almost don't even bother firing them most of the time, I feel like I've been able to do some mop up with guns with this ship too, and then you do get a little bit better of a health pool as well. But then of course only 2 torpedo launchers is kind of the downside there, right? But yeah, so we've been having fun with this one, and we're gonna be a good little boy destroyer, right, and go in and challenge the zone cap. And you know, guys know what my strategy is when it comes to being a destroyer right off the bat in the beginning of the game is don't sacrifice yourself, right? So have an exit strategy, right? Like, keep in mind that, like, as you go into the zone, you might be outgunned, right? So we're gonna move around to the outside. In this scenario, sometimes depending on like where I'm at or what I'm in the mood for, right? Like, I'll just straight up point away from the zone completely as I go in. But yeah, you can see this summer CE picks us up, so we're moving away, and then we're probably getting radared by the cruiser now, so we're going to keep moving away. We engaged engine boost to get as far away from that Buffalo as possible. Typically the radar range is 9 kilometers, right? So we're going to be, boom, there we go, unspotted, right? So most American cruisers have that 9-kilometer range. If you're running into the Soviet guys, some of theirs are over 11 kilometers, right? Like, so you just gotta kind of keep that in mind. And then, of course, you know, radar doesn't last long for anybody, really. So we're probably safe to circle back in. But with there being 2 cruisers there, plus another destroyer, like, we're definitely going to be outgunned, right? So we're going to keep our distance. I'm not going to go right in and challenge the zone, because I know I'll get spotted and get my butt kicked, right? So we are going to go full on stealth, try and keep out of sight, and dump torpedoes and keep these cruisers spotted, right? So this is the other part of being the good little boy destroyer, is spotting for the rest of your team. So by being here, you know, those guys hiding behind that cover, you know, they're not behind it anymore, right? So our cruisers, and or if there was a battleship back here that spawned by A on our team, could potentially shoot these cruisers for us, right? So, but that's quite working out to be the case. We do get a torpedo hit on the Buffalo finally, right? 20 grand on that, right? So torpedoes are hitting hard. And then if this mine's, like, depending on what he was looking like he was gonna do, I'm gonna have to turn away most likely. Yeah, so he's gonna turn in, so we're gonna have to turn away to try and keep out of range. And then we do have to keep in mind, I don't know where that destroyer went, that Summers, so we'll have to just kind of keep that in our back pocket of our brain to know that he may spot us at any point as well. We do have our smoke screen to, you know, if we absolutely need it. But yeah, so we've got a battleship down, you know, on our team that's moving in closer to A, and I was kind of hoping he would be able to take these cruisers out, and then we'd be able to, yeah, he took a decent hit there, and then we'd be able to go in and recap the zone, right? We'd be able to steal that back. But as you can see, we're fighting a very uphill battle at this point. You know, I mean, I feel like we're doing what we can, right, given the circumstances. You know, we don't want to get spotted by these cruisers. They will definitely take us out really, really fast. So we'll kind of play cat and mouse until we can sneak back into the zone and retake or take A, right, is kind of my goal at this point. And then I see the smoke screen, so I'm going to go into the minimap and call it out so that my teammates hopefully know that he's still there. And then we'll move in towards it, right? So we almost have torpedoes ready. So I'm going to see if I can't sneak into the zone and then if he's just chilling in that smoke screen, we're gonna send torpedoes into it, right? So I was kind of like, you know, either if he's either, my guess would be he's either still in the smoke, which is weird because you don't see him firing anything, you don't see bullets coming out of there, or he would have moved like closer towards us. Yeah, so there he is. So that's, yeah, I was half right? But that was my like thought process, right? So now we can at least know where he is and we can go in and challenge the zone. But if he keeps moving this way, we're going to run into the same exact scenario we were in before, where we're going to have to retreat because us getting spotted, we're literally surrounded by him and then two cruisers here, right? So it's tempting to take that shot, but that Buffalo is definitely going to continue turning away. But that gives us a little bit of an opening to be able to move to stay in this zone cap and then move forward. And as you can see, we lost some more ships already as well. So our teammates over by the sea cap aren't doing that great. Gonna get this hit on him. Get there, baby. All right, and then we might be able to finish him off with guns. So we take that shot. Just need one little tickle of a hit. And he's done. So now we're getting the zone cap, but we are spotted from firing our guns, right? So we get that 20-second penalty. So we'll have to probably take some bullets from the cruiser that is left behind us here. We'll move away from him. And so as you can see on the minimap, it was a little less than 20 seconds, right? Because we moved away from our like sort of max spotting range from that mines, and so we went unspotted a little earlier. He still got some shots off though, so he did reset the cap when he tickled us there a little bit. And we'll take this shot through these islands here in case this Mogami keeps moving forward. And Kazi, so that is definitely a gunboat. We do not want to get into a gunfight with him, although it does look like he just lost a chunk of health, so we might be able to stand on our own for a little bit, but we would probably have to sacrifice quite a bit of our own health. Kazi is a really fun tier 8 Japanese destroyer to play as. You only get that one torpedo launcher that launches 6, but the guns are insane, so if you do a gun build on that boat, it's pretty wicked awesome. So I'm going to fire through the zone here because we know he's there, right? He came through a little bit faster than I was expecting, so I doubt he's going to hit those torpedoes. And then it looks like he, is kind of recognizing he's low on health, so he's going to try and... Oh, I thought maybe he was smoking, but I guess not. But yeah, as you can see, he's wrecking us pretty good. The reload on his guns is wicked better than ours. He misses our torpedoes, so yeah, I just don't like... Even with his small amount of health left, I'm like, alright, we need to smoke. As you can see, he's draining us way quicker than we're draining him. I was kind of hoping like he had fired his guns, so anybody else in the area is going to, spot him that has line of sight. And then that did work out, right? So the battleship managed to finish him off. He does have torpedoes, so we're going to just kind of give it a second here in case he sent them this way. But I think we're good. But yeah, like I said, he's only got that one. He's got one rack of 6, and then I think they get a reload booster too. So they could potentially send 12, but he may have already used that at this point. All right, so we're gonna play good boy, right? And we're gonna start heading towards the B hole and see if we can't get that zone capped. We are down on points, but we've caught up on ships, right? So this game's still winnable. But it is going to be challenging, right? So those are probably torpedoes from the Mogami. So he is probably up here off to our left still. Alright, lost our Jean Bart. Lepanto, so this would be really great if he kept moving forward here. So this is one thing to kind of keep in mind, right? So he may have noticed that now B is getting taken from them, right? That we're capturing B. And so we fire this torpedo shot, and you can tell he's slowing down just by our new torpedo trajectory, right? So I'm gonna guess he anticipated these torpedoes. He probably figured that was us coming into the zone, and so he is stopping behind that chunk of land there, because that gives him that sort of torpedo protection, right? So super smart move by him, if that's what he was thinking. Otherwise, he's just lucky, right? But, you know, worst case scenario, it looks like we might be able to get this zone capture. And then I was kind of like, you know what if he is backing up still, right? So I'm gonna fire torpedoes back behind that island. And then I wanted to start moving forward. So this is a little bit risky, because then if that Lepanto does start coming forward again, we potentially could be in a scenario where we're going to get spotted. And then if you look at the mini-map, there is a destroyer, you know, down sort of the south side of the map that probably hasn't been spotted in a while. So yeah, unsuspected, this Lepanto comes around. My spotting is, concealment's pretty good here. We're at 5.3. So he's not quite close enough to us. And I'm like, man, I wish I would have saved those torpedoes, right? And then yes, here comes the destroyer that I was a little bit nervous about. So it's good that we must have better concealment than him, or somebody else is picking him up. But regardless, we are still not spotted. And then this is gonna be kind of a good scenario, right? Like we have a chance to shoot the Elbing and or the Lepanto, right? It's always great when when your torpedo shots have the potential to, like, there's two ships, right, in the way of those torpedoes. So I have high hopes for these, but we'll see how it goes. You know, the Lepanto was smart enough to dodge our torpedoes before from when we were in B. He's probably smart enough to see that, you know, hey, we got spotted there. He's probably changing course, right? But we do get a hit on him. Yep, and so he definitely did. It looked like that was the far left torpedo, which means he probably slowed down and turned in. And then we're going to continue to pick on this Elbing if we can. We've got more torpedoes ready. We're going to send those. But we are quite at risk here. I probably should have stopped firing since we're right at spotting range now, 5.3, right? But we kept it up. I was like, the smoke's almost ready. We can smoke, you know? So we'll use that, and that'll get us unspotted. And I'm just like, kill it. Kill them all. Yeah, we're going to lose line of sight on him, and we lose on points. I was like, oh, this was one of those games where I was like not paying attention to points because it was like so intense, and I was like, I had such high hopes. I was like, we can win this, we can win this. And then, yeah, they beat us out on points. So we did what we could, right? So 1900 XP for being on the losing team is a really good XP score, right? So when your team wins, I think you get like a 1.5 multiplier, right, for your XP score. So having almost $2,000 on the losing team is a really good score, right? So because we probably would have been closer to like 3,000, right? So I'll quick go through how I have the commander built and then the upgrades that I've picked, right? But like I said, I've kind of done my torpedo build here, which is, you know, I'm always doing propulsion mod, the whatever that first one was for aiming systems, and then concealment is kind of a no-brainer when you're doing a like torpedo stealthy build, right? And then this last, what was that, reload? And then this is we're using Space Fishy, which, you know, I mean, basically pick inspirations that are sort of torpedo-centric. So if you don't have these commanders, grab those. And then more speed and reload here. Concealment. Faster reload time. And then you could, this last one, you could go smokescreen. But I went with more destroyer speed. But you do you. And then Unstoppable's kind of my go-to as well. Right? For destroyer play. So that is our Hayate video for the day. We don't win them all, guys. We don't win them all. If we did, honestly, the game would be boring if you always won, right? But yeah, if you want to see me lose more, make sure you're watching my live streams. Thanks for following the channel, guys. If you're not following the channel, please do subscribe. I am putting out World of Warships videos every single day, so if you like this game, I do too. Let's be friends. See you tomorrow.